Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work, and let's get open for business today. Guys, how are you doing? I see Kyle is the first one in the house. We got Green Dan, we got DJ Cobb, we got Brian in the house, we got Connecticut Cowboys, we got Derek Young, we got Cowboy Fan 1998 from California, we got Ronaldo, we got, wow, these names are popping in here real quick. Eagle Jobu. You know, I got to tell you, I got so many people that just Eagle Joe Boo. I've got Mark Holmes ones that are out there. I just don't understand it. Yeah, I've got Eagle Joe Boo up here. Maybe he's done got himself a cell phone. I got Marcelo. I got Virginia's Finest. I got Renaud. I got Eric. I got Sandman in the building. How are you doing, Sandman? Will P. I've got DJ Cobb. I've got Adrian. I've got Art. I got Ricky. I've got Edsel. I've got that Buell. I don't know what the heck that is, but that's definitely an Eagle fan. I got more Eagle fans. Is there? Let me ask you, Eagle fans, because we got so many of you guys that are in here. Do you not have your own like sandbox to play in? Do you guys not have any good Eagles channels to watch? Because see, listen.
EDP is okay.
But I'm trying to understand because listen, I stay busy. I got so much stuff going on in my life that I don't have enough time as it is, to go ahead and take care of just watching my own channel and getting the videos up, much less seeing Eagle channels or Redskin channels or Giants channels. If I have time, I'm going to check out Law Nation. I'm going to check out, Okoye. I'm going to check out DMV Blue. I ain't got time to check out an Eagle channel. I mean, look, here's another one. Mark's Texans mug. Is it? I know what it is. I know what it is right now. I got it. School's out for summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the kids have all kinds of time. That's what it is. It's those 8-year-olds, those 10-year-olds, those 12-year-olds. School's out for summer, so that's what it. Got it now. Okay. All right. We're cool. I had a little brain fart here on the other computer on here, so I don't have the clock up for how long before the start of the season. I'm trying to get it back up because we're going to have Okoye joining us in here because we're going to try and bust some myths. Here we go. We are back up. Thank goodness. We're going to try and see what happened to Dak Prescott. I know I talk a lot about Dak Prescott, but would you rather me talk about the third string defensive tackle? Listen, everything goes through the quarterback. Everything. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have Jack. And we have to figure out, is Dak Prescott the guy that we need to lead us for the next 10, 12 years? Do we have to look at getting another quarterback? Do we have to look at getting another coach? Because we've seen the difference between Jared Goff from Jeff Fisher to this year. See, that Buell. Okay. Here's what I ask. I got a lot of great fans that are out there. I got some great trolls even out there. Because some of you trolls, I don't mind your trolls. But I ask you this because you guys have actually chased off one of my best favorite fans, Sarah. If you say you don't want to say I'm an idiot, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, okay? No problem. I'm a man. I can take being called, an old fart. But listen, don't do personal attacks to people that are on here. And keep it clean. We do have kids that are in here. We have women that are in here. And when you start chasing away other fans and you start infringing on other people's rights to enjoy the show, I don't want to block people. But I'm going to have to. And I know what you'll do because you guys are little kids that got loose on the computer. Mom and dad ain't controlling what you're doing. That you think it's funny just to come in here and cut up. Okay? It's not cute. It's not cute, seriously. And I want this to be fun for everybody. Then that's the key. Because, see, we got Steamin' Willie Beeman, who's steaming. He always trolls me, but at least he is, he'll tell me Dak sucks every single day and all that, but he's not going to go out there and necessarily personal attacks on people. He's not going to be talking about, doing crazy things to my rear end. Come on, let's just stop that stuff, okay? Even Texas mug, okay? I mean, okay, clean trolling I'm cool with. So please, just kind of keep it a little clean. But tonight, we're here with our Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, we still have 4 more weeks before we open up for minicamp. And this is the time where we're holding our breaths and saying, please, Lord, please don't let anything bad happen with our players. Please make sure they come to camp ready to rock and roll, because we have 78 days, 19 hours, 16 minutes, and 54 seconds until we kick off against the Carolina Panthers. Dak Prescott is doing the rounds. He's bringing awareness for his cause, cancer and everything else. He's answering everybody's questions. He has got to be the most scrutinized player in the NFL, because it's amazing how he's everywhere. Everywhere. You don't see Matty Ice, for you Atlanta Falcons trolls out there, doing the circuits or anybody caring. You don't see Alex Smith rolling around on all the channels because nobody cares. You don't see Eli Manning. No, you just see the Dallas Cowboys. The blessing and the curse of being America's team. We have so many discussions here on this channel, and I try and at least bring optimism. I always try to give you guys something good to hold on to, or at least try and find a reason why something happens. Okay? When I say such and such happened with a player, you just hate that guy. No, I'm pointing out, I don't hate anybody. I don't even hate you trolls. Now, I hate the New York Giants. I hate the Washington Redskins, but I'm okay with their fans. Some of them are assholes. Some of you Eagles, you guys actually wear that red badge of courage that, yeah, we're assholes and we love being known as assholes. So, yeah, I don't like you guys. But I don't hate people because you disagree with me. In the same way, Okoye, everybody thinks, oh, there's a beef between. No, there's no beef between. We just disagree on Dez and Dak. So we're going to have another discussion about that. To me, looking at the season, the first half of the season, Dak Prescott was balling. 16 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. If he kept up that pace, he would have had 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, about 3,800 yards. Who wouldn't have been happy with that? None of you guys? Any of you guys? Even you haters. If you had that for the whole season, would you have been happy? I'd been happy. Because for our team, that's winning football. And I've got some stuff I've been doing. I always try and go through the numbers because I'm a little crazy with numbers and stuff. I love statistics. No, I'm not drinking coffee. I'm trying to cut back. But I tell you what, we'll get Joe Boo a refill. Joe Boo can get a refill here. And I'll get one myself, too. It's funny because my wife's going to a birthday party for a friend of hers, so they were getting some tequila for her at the liquor store. So I'm at the liquor store, and I'm looking at all these beautiful, I love rum. All these bottles of rum, so I picked up another bottle of rum and stuff for Joe Boo to make sure Joe Boo's got his rum. And we're looking at all these different rums and stuff. I'm saying, this is really good. It's 25-year-old rum and everything else. She said, I said, I'm becoming a connoisseur of rums, okay? I'm learning the differences of rum. And she said, yeah, you used to be in the sewer with the rum. Now you're a connoisseur with the rum. So, yeah, okay. Be that as it may. Dak is trash, so why are you obsessed with him? I am obsessed with at least changing the narrative and at least pointing out the facts. Because here's the thing, Taco Bell bum, and it's funny, it's funny, you trolls out there, because see, it's really actually kind of sad, because see, every day you guys see and hear my voice, know my name and everything else. You trolls that talk all that smack don't even have your own picture or name up. You have to literally hide. And that's sad. It's sad that you have to hide and try and be a bully behind that. But, you know, if you're weak, you're weak. That's all I can say. But be that as it may, the reason why I talk about Dak Prescott is because if you're told something enough times, you begin to believe it. Loch Ness Monster. You've been told over and over, this is a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, this is Nessie. Turned out, Nessie was about this big. A guy made it in his workshop, put it out in the lock, took a picture of it, and still today, you still see pictures of that fake Loch Ness Monster. And people believe it. That's the Loch Ness Monster. No, that was actually made in a guy's workshop, kind of like Jobu was. There may be a Loch Ness Monster, but that one wasn't it. So the reason I talk about Dak Prescott is because we have guys that say Zeke Elliott's going to have to rush for 3,000 yards because Dak Prescott can't throw for 1,600. Funny. Bad as last year was, he still threw for twice that. It's the same thing that happened to Tony Romo, because I did the same thing with Tony Romo, because the narrative with Tony Romo was he's a choker, he sucks, he always ends up losing every single game and everything else, but actually he had more comeback victories than Captain Comeback Roger Staubach. That's a fact. But people always said he's a choker, always loses it. No, it's an urban legend. It's not true. Dak Prescott, as bad as last year was, without Zeke Elliott, still had more touchdown passes than Matt Ryan, Mariota, Cam Newton. Yet everybody says he's down here. He sucks. I take Jameis Winston over him. So that's why I go ahead and at least try and point out, guys, he's not as bad as you think. But I found some interesting stuff that I want to definitely discuss once I get Okoye calling in, as well as Law Nation. We'll definitely talk about these things and go into a little more detail. Week like Derek Carr. Derek Carr, this is what's funny, because Derek Carr is getting paid $120 million? Is that what? $120 million, I believe it is, that Derek Carr is making. Dak Prescott right now is making $600,000. They had almost identical numbers last year. And we got Raider 420 who swears that he's got gold for a quarterback. His $120 million man is gold. Yet nobody's talking about he regressed. Nobody's talking about Matt Ryan, who was MVP the year before, regressing to less TD passes than Dak Prescott with a Julio Jones. Now, would you take Des Bryant or Julio Jones? Sanu? He had better receivers than Dak Prescott had. Right or wrong? See, we got Extreme Archery in here tonight. Redskin fan. James Hood. Well, you know, they just can't get enough of the Dallas Cowboys, because every time I turn on freaking NFL Network, either it's a replay of a Green Bay Packer Dallas Cowboy game, or it's, you know, they're talking to somebody from the Dallas Cowboys. They're talking about Earl Thomas going to the Dallas Cowboys. They're talking about Dak Prescott. They're talking about Jason Garrett being on the hot seat. And I'm kind of wondering, are there any other teams in the NFL? I never hear anything about the Titans. Oh, yes, actually I did. They did talk about the Titans because they said Des Bryant might go there. Law Nation will be in here about 9:30, and we'll jump in. Okay, we're looking forward to you, and hopefully Okoye will get in here soon too. So the narrative always is the Dallas Cowboys. No matter what happens, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Sean Williams, I wouldn't pay Dak the $100 million contract yet. Well, here's the thing. It's really a prove-it year for him. When you think about Derek Carr only really had one great season. He got $120 million. Matt Ryan, biggest contract for a quarterback ever. Well, any player ever. Honestly, what has Matty Ice done? 4-6 playoff record. Let's say again, 4-6 playoff record. He did get to the Super Bowl. Biggest collapse ever in a Super Bowl. Last year, only 20 touchdown passes. If you take out 2016, and everybody always has one year that just blows everything else away. If you take out 2016, the year he won MVP, he's only averaging about 25 or 26 TDs a year. Does he really deserve quite that much money? Does Sam Bradford deserve $20 million for Arizona, and you know he will not make it through the whole season? I don't see that. I don't see how he makes it through the whole season, but he's going to get $20 million.
For one game.
So then my question is, if you say don't pay Dak, okay, you just let him play through his rookie contract and walk. Where are you going to go quarterback?
He's not walking.
No, somebody just said I don't see paying him a $100 million contract.
Yeah, but if you don't pay him this year, he's still on his rookie contract.
I know that, but I'm saying that basically you're going to go ahead and take care of him at the end of this year. You have to. Or you franchise tag him, in which case it'll cost upwards of $30 million then the following year. So,
He has a 4-year contract total.
yes, J-Wad, we know you guys are Super Bowl champions, finally. It only took you 52 years. Congratulations.
Actually, longer than that. The last time we won.
Well, here we go.
Might have to create that group.
How we doing, man?
Oh, you're showing your face tonight.
Pretty good. How are you, man?
Okay, everybody, welcome to the set. I hope you don't mind me calling you Mythbuster, because you always bust you bust the theories, man.
This is the first time I've seen this man's face.
Okay. Well, he's just up I-95 up in Philly, because I actually want to hook up and get together with you. And I don't know if you ever go to any Philly-Dallas games.
I went to the one on New Year's Eve last year. Yeah, the last game of the season.
Okay, and so, and you're still with us. So you didn't have any problems with those Eagles fans?
Oh, I did. But it wasn't that bad, because at the end of the day, in Philly, if we're on the losing end, you're okay.
You're okay?
You might
okay.
A strong talking to. But if you're on the winning end and they're not making the playoffs, you might have some problems. Really.
Well, I've been to Giant Stadium 3 times. I've been to FedEx Field about 6 or 7 times. Going to Philadelphia is on my bucket list, but I'm afraid if I go, that will be the end of the bucket list, because it'll be the end of me.
There's a group that I met with when we were at the draft called the Hitters.
Yeah.
They're like a huge Cowboy gang, and they don't even come to Philly. I was like, well, do you guys have a Philly chapter? They're like, we have like 1 member in Philly, so we don't usually go to Philly games because we don't have enough installation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I thought
maybe we can
like
get a big enough group together and all that, and maybe we can kind of make that trip and stuff. Because it's only a couple hours up the road and stuff, and that would be kind of fun to do that at least once. So
yeah, I'll see you guys around, no problem.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. People say I talk about Dak too much, and I treat him like, he's my son, even though he does look like my son. I'm trying to figure out, and part of the reason why I talk about it is there's some things that are said about him that aren't necessarily true. But I'm also trying to figure out what the hell went wrong with last season. That's where I talk to you, because, you broke it down with Dez Bryant, great. And, I'm not saying it's Dez, I'm not saying it's Dak. I think it's all the way around, and I also say it's coaching as well in there. But we have to figure out what happened with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, and how we can, or how hopefully they get better. Because going through the first 8 games of the season, like I was saying when we were talking yesterday on the phone, Dak was 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, averaging 7.4 yards per completion. Then the Atlanta Falcons game happened, 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Now, I know we had without Zeke Elliott, but I'm wondering if that beating that he took in Atlanta, if that kind of made him gun shy, if that slowed him down, if he possibly got injured, or
I mean,
what?
That's like the main excuse that's given is that he had a hell of a game in the Atlanta game, and then the Eagles game he got sacked another 4 times after that, and hit a number of more times. So, and those 2 games were anomalies. Those were 2 games where Tyron Smith wasn't there, and those were 2 bad games. But we had 6 other games after that. So at the end of the day, he had to snap out of that. I know it's me saying this, and I'm not a professional football player, so it's kind of hard to, for someone in our position to really judge. But you want your quarterback to be able to snap out of that. But I think it was a perfect storm, though, which is really what no one's really saying. People try to put all the blame on Dez, and they try to put it all on Dak, or they try to share between the 2 of them, but then they ignore the coaches. But it's everything. It was the fact that, one, you had 2 veteran quarterbacks backing him up that are no longer on the team anymore, and Mark Sanchez and Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Right. Literally telling him what he would be saying, and not saying, like, you're not trying to defer credit or deflect credit away from Dak by saying that. I'm really just saying, like, having Romo and Mark Sanchez in front of him or behind him or wherever had to show him some stability in regards to how to prepare for an NFL level game. No different than I don't think Aaron Rodgers would say that having Brett Favre in front of him that benefited him greatly. So at the same time, like that's not a knock saying like, hey, he should have sat back and he wasn't fit to play or he's a bum when I say that. I say it because of that. I think the questions that we have about Dak right now wouldn't be questions a year from now, and nor would there be any pressure.
Right.
He would be starting comfortably. But
here's the thing that here's the thing that I'm kind of and I'm going to ask your opinion on this, because watching All or Nothing, that was made to be drama for TV, so you don't know how much of that stuff was really legit. You could take certain clips and make a narrative that you wanted. I mean, it may be that Dooley, that we saw the 5 times that Dooley and Dez had a conflict, and we didn't see when they were really working together well. However, I just kept looking at that narrative and thinking that he's just trying to maintain a relationship with Dez and not have any conflict, as opposed to being a coach that's trying to teach him how to do anything. And the other thing that that kind of blew me away was the second episode when we were playing Denver. I swear when they showed up in the booth and Zeke Elliott was being stopped, because I think he had 13 yards in that game, that they were just kind of like deer with caught in the headlights, like they didn't know what to do. And it was kind of like, and I felt like from the Atlanta game on, it was the same thing, because that's when Zeke Elliott was gone.
Right.
It seemed like, because here's what, after going through this, it's like, really, you've got Zeke Elliott who's gone, and Zeke, quite honestly, wasn't quite Zeke early in the season. The first couple of games, he was only averaging like 3.8, 3.9 yards a carry.
Yeah, and he came in heavier too.
But here's what was crazy. In the Atlanta game, Alfred Morris had 11 rushes at 4.8 yards per carry. But we only rushed him 11 times.
Right.
Clearly, Chaz Green was getting eaten up. The coaches didn't do anything to try and say, leave a tight end in to chip. Or when you get a guy that's blitzing and thing, you want to try and do something quick in that area to try and slow down the rush, to make him think, okay, the ball might be coming here. But we didn't do any of that. We didn't even try and run the ball without Zeke Elliott. Because then, against the Chargers, it almost blows me away, because in the Chargers game, Morris ran 9 carries, 36 yards, 4 yards a carry. Rod Smith, 9 carries, 41 yards, 4.6 yards a carry. So we were still able to run the ball, but we didn't really run the ball. We had 18 rushes.
Right.
And then the Chargers, I'm sorry, that was the Chargers game. The Eagles, this really is crazy. Against the Eagles, Morris had 17 carries, 91 yards, 5.4 yards a carry. But it's still, we just kind of ignored running the ball, put it all on Dak's back. So, you think some of the coaching has part to do with the regression of Dak?
Uh, I don't even look at it like regression as much as it's stagnation.
Like you said,
I
a
don't think
perfect storm.
I don't think he went backwards. I just think the NFL is caught up to him. And then the last 8 games of the season, we didn't have an answer on the ground that was creative enough. And I think that's kind of what Dez and those guys were talking about. When you look at how we were running the ball, we would run the ball into the teeth of the defense. So it would be, 9-man boxes literally sometimes even 10. And we still run it. And it was successful, not only with Morris, but also when Zeke ran and when Rod Smith ran. We were successful, playing smash mouth that way. But that's not – I don't think that's an aggressive style of football for us, number one. And number two, it kind of leaves Dak out to dry because you're not giving him any free looks. So you're just saying drop back. When it's time to drop back, we're going to play an obvious passing formation, and you're going to throw the ball out of, those formations. Or, attempt some play actions, but at the end of the day, it was like after the Atlanta game, he was quick to try to get the ball out, but not not sharp, but quick.
Yeah.
He was jittery.
I've got to laugh at this comment from Taco Bell Bum. Okay. David Carr destroyed Dak in accuracy contest. Yes, David Carr did. But what has David Carr ever done in the NFL? Dak may have already had more touchdown passes than David Carr ever had in his career. Man, get out of here.
Oh, man.
I mean, come on, man.
The way I look at it, and I picked on him for that too, to be honest with you. But the way I look at Dak right now, like I don't look at Dak as, and nor do I think he needs to be. I don't look at Dak, nor do I look at Russell Wilson as like Drew Brees, guys that are going to pick you apart. But they don't need to be, So when I say that Dak isn't like, he isn't a bullet passer or a crisp passer, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's not like he needs to be. He knows how to keep drives alive between the 20s. And now that they have, I think, Tavon Austin, they'll start to adjust the RPO that they use, the zone read that they use in the red zone all the time. Either, Dak keeps it and runs in, or he hands it off, or he, throws off that in the red zone all day. And we didn't have it.
But where is it?
I'll wait.
Okay, hang on one second. Where? Okay. Sorry. There we go.
Just answer it and then make the group.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me merge these two calls. We got Law Nation in the house. Okay, now.
Go back to here.
And
then wherever you click to make the group.
Where was the group?
Click on something that. Oh, click
the dots on the bottom.
Add people to the call.
There we go.
And then the search his name. There it is, right there. The third one.
There we go. Okay, create a group. Sorry, guys. I'm old with this.
Oh, no, I think you have to add Law Nation to it, too.
Okay. Didn't get it? Did I get it? Yeah, wait. Hold it. Here we go. I see Law Nation.
What's up, man?
On there.
Where's, yeah, it says he's on there. You still there, Okoye? Okay, where is he? Okay. Okoye?
Wait, search his name again.
Okay, I see. Okay, I've got one.
Oh,
I see you there.
Go back to here.
Okay.
I can hear you guys again now.
Okay.
Go to add. Oh, add group. Oh, here, where it says where the plus.
I'm sorry, Michael.
And then there was some. No, go down to here where it says create group.
I'm sorry, guys. Hang on here.
No problem.
Add people to the call.
And then put his name and then Law Nation's
Well,
name.
that's what we just did.
I know, but it didn't show up like it did before. And then search his name. Yeah, I mean, it merged it, but didn't merge like it was supposed to.
Oh, you know what? I think there's 2 Colts. Okay. Do I have See, that's a different one that I have. I got by accident. Okay. On hold. Why is Lawrence on hold? Damn, resume call. Hank? Okay, you're still there. I'm sorry, having a little problem merging the two calls here. Forgive
No
me.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt, man.
That's the only way I know how to do it. You might not be able to do it.
Okay, hold on. Now, it's got both of them right there. Okay, resume call. Okay, do me one favor. Hang up
Yes,
and
sir.
call me right back, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, let me try this one more time, guys. Sorry, I'm technology challenged.
But see, I'm not sure.
Where is? Cause see, that's the wrong. When I was looking for him, it was the wrong one. Hold it. Where is Law? No, I still got you on here.
Did you?
It's all set up. Okay, so call started.
Better?
Yeah, I got you, but I can't get Law in here.
Is there a way you can call him?
Hold on. Let me.
Want me to try to add him?
Yeah, see if you can add them real quick. For some reason, it's not allowing me to merge the two of them.
It might be because it's not actual. It's not a friend of yours or something. So
Well, no, he is
What's his
Law Nation.
Cause I think you exit out on Law Nation when you drop the call.
Call ended. Okay. Actually, how can I actually call?
So it says
Okay.
it's on there, but it's not.
All right, so he's calling him in there. Okay, let's see if he's got him. Okay, while he's working on trying to get Law in here, I apologize, guys.
But I think it's only going to be on his screen that's going to show Law, not on yours.
Well, no, it should still be a group call, though. Is Law on yours?
I don't see him yet, no.
Okay, Law, if you're on there, actually try and call me back one more time again and see if I can get you in there. For some reason, it's not merging the two calls.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hold on.
On the newer version,
Okay.
you know how to do it on there.
All right, so I got to upgrade to that one. Okay.
Cause it might be.
Here comes Law.
Cause it might be that he's not a friend of yours and won't let you merge him.
Well, that may be because he just called me for the first time. Okay. Why isn't... Why isn't it ringing over here? Sorry, guys. Having a little problem here at this moment. Trying to get Law. I'll tell you what, Michael. See if you can call Law Nation for me while I go ahead and get the fans. Forgive me, guys. I have a little technical difficulty here. This is what happens when you have an old ass working the system here. Okay. Anyway, we're trying to get Law Nation and Okoye back in here, and we have a little problem on there because, well, let's face it, I'm just old, okay? But anyway, translation, Okoye thinks that Dak sucks and is average and won't ever change his mind if Dak wins every game this year. Fact. No, I got to tell you. See, here's the thing. The Cowboys, he should be calling in. It should be ringing.
I don't see it.
Why is it not ringing on there? Close it and see and restart it and see if that does it. I'll have to go back over here. And okay. Here's the thing. Most quarterbacks play better with the running game. Troy Aikman had a great running game and also a great defense. Troy Aikman only had one season where he had 20 or more touchdowns. Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett. You look at even Tony Romo. Tony Romo's best season, best opportunity that we had to go to the Super Bowl was when we had DeMarco Murray rush for 1,800 yards. Other times when we didn't have that, Tony Romo just got lit up. So to say that, well, he's got to have a running game, yeah, well, most quarterbacks do. Even Drew Brees throwing 5,000 yards. 3 of those times he threw for 5,000 plus yards. The team ended up 7-9. So clearly, it's more than just having great numbers from your quarterback. It's about having a balanced team. There he is, right there. Click on, no, click there, click. There we go. Okay, we got Law back. You got Law coming back. Okay. Oh no, you didn't. That was him calling. You must have hung back up.
Where is the thing?
Type up there, Law name. Okay. Your conversation. Yeah. Well, click on that and see if it sets it up.
I don't want.
That's the conversation where they were both set up on it. Okay. Let's see if we can get it there. I think we finally figured it out. So the fact is, you need to have a running game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Well, there's Law. Let's see. He's calling back in too.
I called them both.
Right. But it's ringing over here on this one, so it's like he's calling. Law, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
For some reason, it's not letting me merge the 2 calls tonight. But
It might be because
we've got.
actual friend of yours.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's it because. Oh, click on. There you go. Click, click, click. Let's see if it'll merge it. Okay. Still got you, but it won't let me merge with Law. This is really weird. It may be because I didn't get a friend request from you, so it may not allow me to merge the 2 calls
That's
together.
what it is. Because when you tried it with David, it didn't merge.
Yeah, because you had to send you sent me a message, but you didn't send a friend request, and I have to accept the friend on it.
Let me see if I can find one. Minute.
So, forgive me, guys. We got Law. Yeah, well, we have Law, but we can't get the 2 of these merged, at least at this moment. So, he's got to actually send
So you want me to hang up and send you a
yeah, I think
friend
that's
request?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do, or I'm going to have to send you one or the other.
I'm going to do it
The
right
only
now.
thing is I'm not doing this version of it.
Okay. Well, can you do it on my cell phone?
I won't hang up right now.
Okay. All right, so, Law, you still there?
Wait.
Damn. I look like a jackass. Okay, Law. All right. I think it's because he hadn't sent me a friend request. For whatever reason, it's just not letting me merge the 2 calls, so he's going to send me a friend request. So the conversation was, now that I've messed up for the last 5 minutes, and thank everybody who stayed on the line. My contention was, from the Atlanta Falcons game on, Dak Prescott was a totally different quarterback. And we're trying to figure out, was it coaching? Was it the fact that Zeke Elliott wasn't there? Was it Tyron Smith? Or was it that Dak was just bad?
Well,
or all of the above?
Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know, is one of those things. I believe the combination of continuity was missing. I think that Ezekiel Elliott is everything as it relates to this offense, and we can go back all the way to the 90s. This offense is designed from the old school Jimmy Johnson / Noel Turner. So, with that being said, when you take Emmitt Smith off the field, yes, you have a piss poor performance. So when you take Ezekiel Elliott off the field, of course you're going to have a piss poor performance.
Right.
And then you add in the aspect of not Lyle Collins, but what's that guy? Tyron Smith.
Oh yeah, well, Tyron.
Right. And the musical chairs that they had with the guard position, and then the inept of the coaching philosophy too as well. The second half adjustment with Jason Garrett. We all know what he is. He's not making adjustments properly. And then Dak Prescott not reading through his progressions. Yeah, I'm gonna put Dak Prescott in the mix too as well.
I agree. Everybody.
So
did.
You have all those things. Everybody had a problem. And then when the ball hit you in the face, and then on top of that, did I talk about the refs? Did we talk about the refs not calling hold?
We didn't. Yeah.
Hey, that's why I said, man, when Jerry Jones said he's going to sue the NFL, or when he was trying to say going against Roger Goodell, he lost that battle.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So the question is, so many people keep saying I talk too much about Dak, but it's kind of like, do you really want to hear about the third string offensive tackle? Is that the guy you're talking about? Because the bottom line is the quarterback is the most important guy to have on the field. And if we don't have him playing right, it don't matter what everybody else is doing. So I've been called a Dak defender. The question is Dak going to be able to lead this team where we need to go?
It's not going to work.
He should, and it's all about his temperament. His
I hear-
style of play,
I hear,
he's a leader. You know.
Okoye, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So you
I can hear you now.
for
All right.
now,
So right now I got Law. I got you online. That's just not letting me get both pictures. So we got
which
Okoye
one do
with
you want to
us.
see? Okoye or Law?
Let's see Okoye.
I mean, you'll see how this video
Okay. But we can switch back and forth with
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
But okay, so
At least you got two
I think I
for
actually have to upgrade the software, and I'll figure it out before the next show, guys. So forgive me on that.
Okay.
But
No problem.
the question is, okay, I look at the team and say, the Dallas Cowboys won the second most games over the last 2 years.
Right.
Most people think, if you would listen to some of the fans out there, the 80% that Vosh always talks about, you would think that we were the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
So the question is, do we have hope for Dak Prescott?
That's why I work to call his other page.
Of course. Of course. I mean, you can't be a Cowboys fan and say you don't.
We have a lot to do.
There you go.
I'm just saying, if you bet against them,
Who that
you kinda
question
betting
was
against the
directed
team.
to? Was
Now,
it looking to
you know, are there obvious
Okoye?
things that
You in the
if he
mix,
comes out
man?
with
Yeah, he's in the
this
mix.
season-
Man, shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Break
Can
out
you
the
hear me?
champagne bottles and the Hennessy, man. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear him, can't you? La?
I can't hear him at all.
Oh, you can't? Oh,
I
man.
can't hear
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
All right. So I hear both of you at least. Okay. So right now, I got, okay, like I said, it's not allowing me to merge the two calls on the screen. I don't know why. I have to figure it out. I'm old, technology challenge. I'm just stupid. So right now, I'm asking Okoye about whether you think that Dak Prescott is the guy, and then I'll ask the same question to Law Nation. So, Okoye, your thoughts on, is Dak the right guy?
I mean, the right guy for right now, yes. Is he everything that, you most likely and most of the fans hope he can be? And that I hope he can be as well. I'm not sure. Like, the jury's still out. But one thing that I can say, though,
Yeah,
this
I'm
year,
not able to
whatever
hear
we
him at
are,
all,
and I
or
don't
you.
mean
Okay.
we have to win it all, but whatever we are this year will be accurate because of the teams and the opposition that we play. So,
All right.
it's not like you can skate by. No, none of us can.
Okay, so Law, what are your thoughts on Dak Prescott for this year coming up? Do you think that he's going to be RG3? Do you think he's going to be an average quarterback, or you think that he's going to step above?
I think Dak Prescott is going to do Dak Prescott things, and it's not to throw a shade at RG3, but it's going to be one of those things where I have to see with my eyes what he improved on. Now, from the eye, I can see from here that he lost weight, and he's already talking about he's going through his reads better, and then we have a better place of weapons around him now. We got the Tavon Austin. I'm talking about collectively. I know a lot of people talk about Dez Bryant and stuff like that, but collectively we have a better group of weapons because we got the Tavon Austins of the.
I think I just lost you, Law. Okay. All right. I'm going to stick with you, Okoye. Law, I'm sorry I lost you on that, trying to get this thing together. But we'll get it figured out before the next go-round on this. But if you're the Dallas Cowboys coaches, Okoye, what do you do differently to try and get a different result?
Run the ball.
It really depends. I think misdirection, and we were doing that in 2016, but we kind of got away from it. We started trying to bully teams. But I think misdirection with that jet sweep, RPO, just getting Dak comfortable and getting into what we would call Dak-friendly formations and schemes. I think he likes to run the zone read. It's simple for him, and if it's successful early in a game, then he can build off of it with, as I said, you have sweeps, you have screens, you have play actions you can run off of it. You have running plays, actual running plays for Dak that you can run off of that. So we saw how effective it was for the Eagles last year, along with Nick Foles as well. It made it so that the offense kind of came to him rather than him having to jump in and be Carson Wentz. He just had to work the system. And I think that actually helps Dak in the short term. So it's a win now strategy, just like Cam Newton running the RPO is a win now strategy. It's not good for his longevity of his career. So it helps Dak short term, but it hurts him long term. Adjusting the offense, because at the end of the day, when he actually is going to have to rely on that, when you don't want your quarterback, once he actually gets that check that Stephen Jones is promising. You're not going to want your quarterback that you're paying $100 million guaranteed running,
Right.
30% of the time. You're not going to want that. So he's going long term. He's going to have some adjustments. It's going to be an adjustment period. But I think the RPO and the addition of, I think, Zeke friendly talent. Austin Zeke friendly. We're going to use him like we use Lucky Whitehead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the impact of missing him. I did that in a welcome to Dak friendly video I just did. But the impact of that jet sweep and having a shifty, fast guy like a Lance Dunbar or a Lucky Whitehead, having them on the team, the impact of missing them is tremendous. And I don't think Cole Beasley by himself was enough.
Well, that's the big question then is, okay, because are you surprised that Dez doesn't have a job yet?
Yes and no. Am I surprised that, someone hasn't come and offered him exactly what he wants? No, I'm not surprised by that.
Okay.
Am I surprised that he hasn't taken a job that was offered, though? Yeah, like
Baltimore.
I thought maybe he would take the Baltimore offer, but again, he wants exactly what he wants. I don't think he's hurting for money. So, to me, I think if he was let go, prior to free agency, I don't think that. I don't even think you would argue this. I don't think that a Sammy Watkins or a Allen Robinson would have been hotter on the market, nor a kid from Miami that just went to Cleveland. I know his name. But
for Miami,
okay.
Yeah,
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, there you go.
Jarvis Landry.
Odell's buddy.
Escaped for some reason. But
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask you the $1 million question right here. Do you think the Cowboys will be better off without Dez or not? And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, it doesn't make any. Offensively, you can't say yes because it's like known versus unknown. We know what Dez can do and has done here, period. So we know what commodity we had in Dez, regardless of what anybody wants to say. Like,
True.
You know what you have.
On the flip, I tell you what. On the flip side, see, I always like to look back at history because I'm old, because I got to look back and, I'm not young like you are and everything. But I look back where the origination of friendly offense. Because we had T.O. T.O. had been playing really, really well, very similar number, actually better numbers than Dez. And when we let him go, the number one guy was Roy Williams, who, God, that has to be the worst trade that the Cowboys ever made. But Miles Austin, you couldn't have looked and said, oh, yeah, Miles Austin is going to become our number one wide receiver. Miles Austin couldn't keep his hamstring straight, and all of a sudden, boom, he blows up and has a great year.
Yeah.
Could we see something like that? I mean, Thomas Hearns, he had 1 year with over 1,000 yards, but it's not like Jacksonville exactly has great offenses and great quarterbacks.
If Dak's weight, if him going back down in weight helps with his footwork, I don't think it's a matter of arm strength or arm talent. I think Dak getting the ball downfield or being able to just throw the ball all over a little bit how he did in 2016. I think that was hindered by how heavy he came in last year. So I think if Dak's weight translates into better footwork, then I think, yeah, you're right. Dak will be able to throw guys like Hearns open,
right?
Thompson open, no problem. If he's on the money. If Dak is still in the 15, 20-yard range, Dak, where he's there, the ball's there, but he's not anticipatory routes where he's throwing guys open or guessing where a guy might break open and putting the ball there. And that's going to come down to chemistry, how much he works with the guys that he has,
True.
And then also his weight. If his footwork is right, he's right. I think for a good reference, if you guys watch John Gruden's, just type in John Gruden Dak. They did a show together when Dak was being groomed or sort of interviewed prior to being drafted. And they were talking about how, sometimes he gets the bad rap when it comes to arm strength, when really it boils down to timing because his footwork might be off in certain positions.
Well, the biggest thing that I worry about, though, is because he is a young quarterback, and young quarterbacks, thank you, Antoine, I appreciate that, is coaching. The one
Right.
thing that I look back in the whole time that Jason Garrett has been here, from being hired an offensive coordinator and, of course, being a head coach and stuff, is they've never really developed a quarterback. Tony Romo was already starting when Jason Garrett got here. He already learned everything he had learned basically from Sean Payton and being behind Drew Bledsoe. Dak
He's the
Prescott,
stuff guy.
his
Yeah.
first OTAs, he was getting like one pass practice, and just kind of got thrown in the mix, and it was basically what he came there with. And you look at that last year and said, okay, now it's your offense. The coaching doesn't seem to take another level. They haven't really developed. We've had all kinds of guys here, and you haven't been able to develop any of them to do anything. I mean, the fact that you had Brandon Wheaton, and I know he wasn't exactly great stock in your system for a year and a half, and you couldn't get him or Matt Castle to win more than one game, makes me worry about, are they going to be able to teach him, especially with Kellen Moore as a quarterback's coach, what he needs to know to be able to take the next step.
I thought it was just telling, for Aaron Rodgers, quarterback's coach, to be on the market and them not spend any money or even take a look at a guy's experience as him and go after Kellen Moore. It kind of shows where what they're investing in and what they're doubling down on this year, especially if you look at the free agency and the trades. All of it's predicated towards the run. So I think they're doubling down on the run, and they're just saying, like, we're going to run a Shanahan style, John Elway style offense, where it's misdirections, play actions, bootlegs, getting Dak out on the perimeter so he can have a clear line of sight to the ball and easier reads and just let it rip. And, putting us in position where you can't stack the box and you can't really key in on Zeke only, that puts us in a position where, Dak can stay creative without having to be anything more than anything more than where he's comfortable. We're not asking him to say, hey, drop back 40 times and win it with your arm at all. I don't think that's where he is, and I don't think that's what we should ask him to be either. At the end of the day, he doesn't need to be. As I said, that's not Russ. That wasn't anyway Russell Wilson's game when they won their Super Bowl. His game was more so, extend drives, extend plays, and then, win it for us in the crucial moments and don't lose it for us with silly plays and silly turnovers.
Okay. I was trying to see if I could get Law back on here. Couldn't get him. That's the thing about the Cowboys coaching staff, or about the Cowboys. It seems like they like to hire everybody from within. With Wade Phillips was the coach, okay, we fired him. Instead of starting all over, let's go ahead and bring Jason Garrett along. Monty Kiffin was here, defensive coordinator. We had the historically worst defense in 2013. They kind of moved him into the front office and Rod Marnelli. So if anything, I think that bodes well for the fact that we got Chris Richard in the mix. I think he at least will be defensive coordinator. The big question is let me ask your opinion. Do you think that Jason Garrett is on the hot seat? I think he is. I think with him only having this year and the next year left on his contract, that you have to either fire him at the end of this year or you have to extend him. You don't want him going into the last year of his job on the last year of a contract, then you're a lame duck. But do you believe he's on the hot seat?
I think, by default, this is a prove-it year for everyone because of the magnitude of the moves that were made. They quietly, and I think it's still like blasphemous to say, but it's true. They quietly started a rebuilding phase right in front of your face. You know what I mean? And they didn't announce it and say, "Hey, we're just, we're going to rebuild." And this is what my argument always has been when it came to Dak. Like, if someone would have told you, and it's not his fault to say this, but it's just causality. I believe in cause and effect.
Yeah.
But someone would have told you when he was drafted that, hey, once this kid is drafted, even though he's developmental, he's a great player, has a great heart. When you say, all right, well, let's draft him. But if they'd have told you, but P.S., the caveat is, once he's drafted, there will be no more Romo due to Romo, failing health.
Yeah.
Dez will soon be ousted. and a shell of his former self, according to the media. And then Witten will retire and be an announcer, in the wake of this draft. People would have, paused and said, "Oh, wow, we'll be rebuilding," and that's what my passion and my vigor and my debate about Dak originated in the first place. That's why I don't have any regrets about it, because I said, I want to win today. And I was feeling like, in 2014, that catch, I felt like we were on our way to having that. So I felt like even last year, the Eagles, they kind of got a free ride due to the fact that we were dealing with so much with this team. And not like they weren't. They did lose their quarterback, so, no excuse there. But I'm not saying that to excuses like, hey, if we were there, full strength, you wouldn't have won the Super Bowl, but you definitely would have got a better, stronger punch from us in those two games that we played.
Yeah. But see, here's the
I just
thing.
think that plays in to me.
The thing I see, though, is we're usually are good enough to be, average or above average. Every other year we're in the playoffs and things like that, but you don't go anywhere. But you're not really bad enough to really get those picks and things like that, where you have to say, okay, we're going to fire a coach, we're going to rebuild, we're going to start all over and tear it apart. And you're kind of like stuck in the middle. You looked at 2015, basically, in a way, it may have been a blessing, because it forced us to change, because we had that high draft pick. We ended up taking Zeke Elliott. We lucked out and maybe have a franchise quarterback. The jury's still out. You really don't know until 3 or 4 years down the road. But until we were really, really bad, we were just kind of stuck on average. And it seems like from, Bill Parcells on, it was just like, okay, we're close enough. If we reach for a T.O. or if we reach for a Roy Williams or we get a Brandon Carr, if we just get a couple of pieces, we might be able to make a run. And I'm actually happy that we're kind of like, okay, we basically started over, because now we're one of the youngest teams out there. And I think you're better off. I always use New England, but they are always good. And you look at them, they don't usually have a lot of Pro Bowl players, and they usually are like a lot of guys you don't really know. And they take those guys when they start getting close to that contract and say, I'm going to trade them so I can get some more picks. And they always keep constantly bringing in new blood. But the other thing that they do that I don't see us doing is, they play so many different guys. It's not just the starting 22. They've got roles for some of these guys. It might be 5 or 10 plays a game, but I got something special for you, and I think that's where the advantage lies.
I got a question for you.
Here we go. Oh, Lord.
Curiosity.
Oh, Lord.
Right?
Here we go.
I like to play devil's advocate, So, just hang with me. Now, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. No one's taking anything away from him. They did what they did in this league. And Bill Belichick as well.
Yeah.
But name for me, and this will kind of answer the question, the last dominant Miami team you can think of in years.
Oh, they've got a – they haven't. They are in a cake division always.
Oh yeah,
always in the. I agree with you 100%. One team. You might have one team that'll play well, because you had the Jets a couple of years there playing pretty good with Mark Sanchez.
Right.
Okay,
but
nobody usually gets past about 8-8, about 500. On there. Nobody. There has not been. Yeah. They better.
So
I agree. They benefit from a cake schedule. They got 6 wins every year, right there.
So I think if you throw the Patriots into the NFC East, do they win? Are they going to be a good team? Yeah, but it's a different perspective. I think. I just don't think that they. I don't think that they are as dominant as they were fortunate in regards to what division they're in. And that's not, like I said, it sounds pompous to say, sounds like I'm hating, but it's just really, that's a reality.
No, I tell you what, I'm sick and tired of New England. You think Eagle fans are bad? I'm sorry. New England fans, they don't get the hate like the Eagles fans, but I'm telling you, they're assholes too. And having the two of them in the Super Bowl was just ugly. It was just ugly. I could go through the rest of my life and not see that again, because I've seen that twice now.
I might make it an intro on one of my videos just so people can see what I was doing during the Super Bowl. But I'm wearing like a Alexander McQueen sweatshirt but it's like navy blue and silver for the Cowboys. I had navy blue and silver all the way down to the socks, right? So I'm in the
Man.
middle of a room of, I mean, there's like 60 Eagles fans. We all sitting there watching the game together. But like in the moments where they thought they were losing, they thought they might lose, especially when Brady was about to drive in that last series before Graham stripped him. Man, I felt like I was like dinner. I was like, man, they mad as hell at me sitting in here, but they don't want me in here.
I gotta tell you,
I was rubbing it in. So it was like being here, man. You got to be ready to fight if you're gonna go out and actually call yourself a fan. And that's why when I actually went down to the draft, I was like, I didn't realize it. It was like Richard Pryor had a stand-up show that he did. Not to digress too much, but he had a stand-up special that he did where he said when he was in Africa, he said, you know what I didn't see? And he said, the N-word. And he said there are no, over there, right?
Right.
And I was like, it never occurred to me. It's black people, right? So same thing when I went to Dallas. It's like I didn't see any Eagles fans, Philly. I said, this is the first time I've ever been in a room full of Cowboys fans in my life, ever. I've never been. It's always been me versus the world, or maybe two of us.
Okay. Well, speaking of Philly, this is one of the reasons why I get so many trolls and stuff out there. Okay, I said last year, for the Cowboys, the problem for them is nobody repeats in the NFC since 2003, 2004 when the Philadelphia Eagles did it. Every year, and more times than not, it's actually the team that's in the basement that comes back and wins it the next year. And on average, the team that wins the division drops 3.4 games a year. Nobody has ever won the division and won more games the next year since 2004. I'm sorry, 2003. So the question is, do you think the Eagles are going to win the division, or do you think they're going to fall back down to earth from 13-3? I think they're going to fall back down to earth. I still think they're going to be pretty good, but I'm not sure they're going to win the division.
I can't say. I mean, obviously, I want us to win a division. I give them, I guess, a higher power ranking just out of respect for what they did last year. But at the same time, a Cowboys team that plays better defense and can still put up 24 to 30 points a game with the ball control offense that we play, it's always good for a 10-6, 11-5 record if we're playing solid defense. At the end of the day, we played pretty damn good defense last year, but it was more bend but don't break rather than opportunistic defense. If I
see an 8-yard cushion again, I will kill myself.
Right, like we just need to be more opportunistic, and I think the swagger and the attitude that Chris Richard actually brought to the team thus far is going to create that aggressiveness that we were missing. And you alluded to it earlier when you were talking about us not really being good enough or dominant, just average or just pretty good for a while. And I don't think we really give credit to how many good teams we actually had. We had some solid teams. I think the problem was since Parcells left, it's been attitude, not so much talent. Our attitude and our ability to pull forth talent and draw it out.
True.
Look at Jameis Adewale. He's back now. I looked at him. I didn't know he was even on the team before, but I looked at him and I said, wow, like I wish we had this player years ago. And they're like, yeah, we did. We had him on,
right.
He was on our team in the preseason. We cut him, I think, to keep. It's not Smith. I'm not sure who we kept that year, but we cut him in favor of another fullback. But I'm like, who cut that guy? I don't understand.
We had guys like Danny Amendola and stuff like that were here. But see, here's the thing that's amazing, though, is the difference between winning and losing and perspective is that much. Just think, if we had possibly run the ball against Seattle, controlled the clock, scored that touchdown, and won that game, and we were 10-6 and made the playoffs, would the conversation still be the same as they are right now?
I don't think, honestly. Fate is a funny thing, and who knows, what dimension, that reality is existing in. But
one game
even exist. Well, there would be no Okoye Media Sports if it wasn't for the way the season ended. Because I think if we make the playoffs, Dez is probably still on this team. Probably. So I think when you don't make the playoffs, heads need to roll, and especially when you think you're good enough to, and especially when the star player who has a lot of favor with the owner thinks he can criticize you publicly for
Yeah.
it, which I think that's really why he's not here. And once he did that, it was kind of clear that he wasn't going to be here, honestly. And
Yeah.
I understand that aspect of it. If you just said, "Hey, we're cutting him because Dez was an asshole," and you want to call him that,
They
we're
handled
fine.
it, but the bottom line, it was
But
just bad all the way. The way they handled it, I'm sorry, they did at least DeMarcus Ware the right way, and I thought that was the way it was going to end up being. I thought all along, at the end of the season, that he was going to be gone, but I never thought there was no reason for them to do what they did, and shame on them because you ended up screwing his opportunity for his next job, and the way it was portrayed in All or Nothing.
Right.
Him the night before the meeting and stuff with all of his Instagram posts, and after the meeting stuff, all that stuff plays into him getting the job right now. So I feel bad
Right.
for him because I always and people think that I hate Des Bryant. I don't hate Des Bryant. I just kind of said, look, it's $16 million that we got to pay. We got a
Right.
lot of holes and stuff. If you pay that $16 million, then that means that's a backup tackle. That means that might be a cornerback. That might be a couple of players that you are able to keep. So you have to say, is that guy more valuable than two or three guys? But be that as it may, he's moved on. But Okoye, thank you very much for coming on here tonight. So now all you people know there is no beef between me and Okoye Media, and just because
beef
we don't
whatsoever.
agree doesn't on his topic doesn't mean that we hate each other. In fact, I actually
Yeah,
enjoy
not at
working
all.
work because
Not at all. And I said, I know, I don't know who tuned in for the first time we actually got together, but I
Yeah.
said before, like I talk a lot of trash, but it's not really gonna. I'm never intentionally evil or aggressive on it. It's all in jest, and I'm just passionate, but I'm not trying to attack anybody.
yeah. But the great
Anybody
thing
that
is.
misconstrues that as a beef.
But see, here's the thing: is unfortunately our country has gotten to the point where if you don't agree with me, it's "f you." You're a piece of crap.
Yeah,
But the reality is you're better off listening to somebody who's got a different opinion than you because you may learn something and you might see and say, "Oh my God, I never realized that," and you might come up with the better idea. That's what used to make our country great. It was a melding of different ideas and concepts where you came up with real solutions.
Right.
So I am more than happy to have you on the show and everything else. So tell everybody where to find you.
Koye Media on YouTube, obviously. I've been appreciating the subscriber count is growing. I appreciate you guys watching. And also, Instagram is IAM_AKOYE on Instagram, so you can follow me doing, all kinds of weird stuff on there. Yeah, that's it, man. Same thing with Twitter, Koye Media. So, I look forward to engaging with you guys, and I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, definitely. So with that being said, we actually went into 10 minutes overtime here. But guys, thank everybody for calling in. I've got some work. I got to update the Skype. I think I've got to make sure. I think you have. Do you have a second Skype channel? Because I think I sent a friend request to another one, to another.
Yeah, I do. I just didn't know the. I didn't know the email.
Okay, I think that's what happened is when I was trying to merge the calls, I was trying to merge that one. I'll get that figured out. But you guys, understand. I'm 53, soon to be 53 years old. I'm old. I'm technology challenged. I just don't get this stuff. But we'll get it together and all that. But we are still working in the preseason here, or excuse me, the off season here. But we will have this together by the time the season gets here. Thank everybody for joining in. Thank you all for the super chats, and have a good, safe weekend. Again, we're getting one weekend closer to the football season. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Okoye Media, and I will see you guys really soon.